Well, down here it's Oxford United versus Bristol Rovers, and it's going to be a couple of big games for Oxford United, but they've had to make some changes today, and the bench is looking a little thin. In goal today, Simon Eastwood. Your full-backs will be Edwards on the right, and on the left will be Joe Scars. Your centre-halves will be Raglan and Dunkley. Engine room, Ledson and Lundstrom. Wide on the left will be Johnson, wide on the right will be Liam Sercombe, up top will be McElhaney, and of course at the top of the park as well will be Tony Martinez. On the bench there is no Nelson, there is no Hall, and there is no Maguire. So Oxford United take on Bristol Rovers. Follow me on BBC Oxford Sport on Twitter. Well, 10 minutes on the clock at the Kassam Stadium. Oxford United 0, Bristol Rovers 0. And it's very obvious that Bristol Rovers are going to be right in Oxford United's faces. The midfield is being swamped. Lundstrom and Ledson having no time on the ball whatsoever. In fact, that's making Oxford look a little bit nervous. 10 minutes on the clock here at the Kassam Stadium. Oxford United 0, Bristol Rovers 0. Well, you can hear the Bristol Rovers fans in fine voice. Oxford United paying for a little bit of an error. Joe Scars waited on the ball. Ollie Clark got in behind the back four and curled it in from Simon Eastwood's left-hand side into his far corner of his net. Nice finish, tidy finish, but you do believe that really it should have been cleared and dealt with by Oxford United, who have looked a little bit nervous in this first 16 minutes. But here, down at the Kassam Stadium, it is Oxford 0, Bristol Rovers 1. Ollie Clark with a goal. 32 minutes go, the fans are up in arm. Carl Boyerson's had a sporadic refereeing afternoon, to say the least. Still it's 1-0 to Bristol Rovers. Oxford just starting to try and get a toe hold in. They're having to work very hard because Bristol Rovers are really chasing and hunting down in packs. Chance for McElhaney, hits the post! Well, that was as close as Oxford's come. 32 on the clock. Bristol Rovers still lead by 1-0. Bad news down here now, 36 minutes on the clock. Scott Sinclair makes it 2-0 to Bristol Rovers as Oxford failed to clear a ball as it travels along the edge of their 18-yard box, fired low past Simon Eastwood. Bristol Rovers lead by 2-0. Oxford will be hoping that they have a little bit of Luton inside them and can get themselves back from this. Tough afternoon ahead, especially with this refereeing performance from Carl Boyerson. Bristol Rovers lead here by 2-0. In time added on down here at the end of the first half, Oxford United trailed by 2-0, and a fair assessment of the first half would be that Bristol Rovers deserved those 2 goals. Clark and Sinclair getting the goals. A couple of defensive errors, one would have to say, that have led to it, but Bristol Rovers have certainly had their A game here, shutting Oxford down at every given opportunity. Not a lot going the way of Tony Martinez, seems to get pushed and pulled everywhere without getting any fouls or free kicks. The referee's performance has been indifferent, but Rovers do deserve to be 2 goals to the good going into the break here at the Kassam Stadium. Some days this is a great job, some days it's not. Today, with Bristol Rovers leading by 2-0, 60 minutes on the clock. The referee taking centre stage, Bristol Rovers deserving their lead. Oxford United desperately trying to get themselves back into it. Shea Dunkley walking a tightrope at the back. What more could you ask for? It'll be a mammoth comeback from Oxford United should they drag this back. There are signs that they're trying very hard, but they're not getting very far forward. 60 on the clock, it's still Bristol Rovers that lead by 2-0. 76 minutes on the clock here at the Kassam Stadium. Bristol Rovers still lead by those 2-0. And in fairness, they are doing a professional job. And just seeing the game out, there's been very little threat in and around the Bristol Rovers goal, although Conor McElhaney has really put a shift in. He keeps working, keeps trying, as does Tony Martinez, but they've just been quelled by the referee's performance, and Bristol Rovers, who have been the better side and 2 goals better off. They were afforded chances by defensive mistakes, and they lead by 2-0 going into the last 13 minutes here at the Kassam Stadium. Into the final minute of the regulation 90 here. Oxford United trail by those 2-0 to Bristol Rovers. Goals from Clark and of course Sinclair, exposing a couple of defensive frailties by the U's in the first half. But any side that's missing Curtis Nelson, Robbie Hall, Chris Maguire, Kane Hemmings and Co would struggle. It looks like one game too far, but Oxford United's frailties against strong physical sides a little bit shown up again today. Bristol Rovers, though, deserved their 2-goal win. They took their chances and they've controlled the game through most of the second half. Here in time added on, it's Oxford United 0, Bristol Rovers 2.